So my first job was to rewrite 16 of the nigunim that we're going to use. And so I became aware of the fact that the stuff had to be written down, it had to be written correctly. So after I finished the Lubavitcher recording, I used those 16 melodies as the basis of the Hasidic stuff to start putting material together. When I told them that they had to, for the purposes of recording, they had to begin together and end together, they looked at me like I was a mishuggah. And they said, what do you mean? We always begin together and end together. And I said, you know, you're used to singing at a Farbrengen with the Rebbe, you know, and the Rebbe is talking about the discourse on Torah, and then when he wants a break, he motions with one finger, and everybody starts to sing. And when he wants to go back to the Torah, he motions with the other finger, and everybody stops, and they think that they're glued in on him because they're good hasidim. But I said, if you had a tape recorder in your pocket at the time and listened to this, you'd see it. So we had to begin them together, end them together, and then try to sing a little bit of harmony and forget about it. I had to hire a couple of ringers to sing a second line. And we used a group at from Radio City, 8 or 9 musicians, and we did the recording in the midst of rock and roll territory, 58th Street and 8th Avenue. It was wonderful. Some very interesting things happened during that recording session. One of the highlights was that there were a couple of the melodies which the Rebbes themselves wrote, very holy melodies to them, where the pitch kept rising, going straight up, and it, from beginning to end, they were a tone and a half up, and I was going bananas. I couldn't, and I realized what it was. They weren't singing to the musicians or to me or to the technical director. They were singing up there, right? And as they were singing, the spirit moved them and the pitch went. We went back 3 weeks later, and with a variable turning, what do you call it? Where you, yeah, right? Richard Newman, my colleague there, played on an accordion, and the engineer kept going like this and moving the pitch up. So we salvaged 3 or 4 of the numbers, but never experienced that before. But at the same time, they told me that I shouldn't conduct after 6 months of rehearsal. They asked me to come to a Malava Malka, a get-together on the Saturday night before the recording. I said to them, why do you want to have that? They said, we can't sing for dead microphones. You know what I mean? We have to get into the spirit. I said, what does that mean? Oh, we'll have a little bit of nosh. We'll have a little bit of the drink, you know, a little bit of fruit and soda. And at that, in somebody's house in Crown Heights, that Saturday night, they all insisted on singing solo for me. I mean, together with the group, sort of it got covered up. But to hear them sing solo at the time, my wife is my witness. I would never have gone through with the recording. I mean, it's just that I got them into a cohesive group. So even if I didn't conduct them at the, nobody watched me at the recording.
Yeah.
They were in their own world. I had very great difficulty listening to this recording. To this day, I have great difficulty. But the London Jewish Chronicle, one of the critics there, said it was the best ethnic recording that he had heard because it had that, it had the pathos and the belief and the, what do you call it, that only a chassid who believes in the melody, you know. So there's something there. You can't put that on paper.
Yeah.
You can't conduct that. It comes from the kishkas, so to speak.